Let's go. Welcome back, or if you're new, I'm Coach Prez, football coach and self-proclaimed blue belt philosopher. What we do here is on this podcast, I answer questions that have been asked. We talk about sport, football, and everything else, philosophy, and getting better overall. I'm doing my best to help out however I can. So, what I wanted to talk about today, I'm not going to waste any time. I had this idea. Obviously, I had training today with my team, okay, and the problem that we've been running into recent weeks, is we fail to maintain our lead. Okay, so most of the games we would get ahead, and then maybe win the first half or get a draw, and then in the second half, inevitably, sooner or later, we just crumble. And we allow the other team to come back into the game and beat us or get a draw. Regardless, we do not win the game, and this is becoming some sort of a pattern. Okay. And what the problem is there, one of the, I'm going to talk about general problems, okay? Overarching problems. I'm not going to talk about specifics. All right. Also, if you're not interested in football, although I'm not really going to talk about football in this episode, you can check the timestamps and go ahead and skip them. Okay. I've taken my time and I'll put chapters, and you can go and watch the chapters that are interesting. Although, I feel like everything kind of ties in together. So, my original thought, the problem, what is the problem? The problem is that we're lacking grit and resilience. Grit and resilience. And this, most of this podcast, unless obviously we drift somewhere, we go somewhere else just naturally, is going to be about just trying to, we're going to be talking about grit and resilience and persistence. Very important qualities that go under the radar, because you cannot really notice them in someone when you see a person. You notice grit or resilience. No, okay. It's very difficult to notice. It goes under the radar. Okay, you need to really know someone for a long time to be able to say he's got it or he doesn't. Okay, you need to be in them in tough situations over a prolonged period of time to be able to give an answer to that question. So what happens with my team is, obviously, we've got our fitness issues with fitness and whatever else, doesn't matter. But it comes to a point where the game is 50-50. And one of the two teams has to say, hey, this is my game. I'm winning this. Okay, I'm not letting that get away. And obviously, ultimately, my team has not been the team to do that, and it's been very frustrating. One, for the players, okay, for all my players, and two, for me, because I don't want to be that. I never thought of myself as that type of coach, or that I'm gonna have a team like that. I'm not in no way, shape, or form blaming my team or saying, "Oh, that's them, not me." Obviously, team coach is the same thing. It's one whole. But the point is, ultimately, I cannot get onto the pitch. I cannot get on the pitch and play. The players have to play. What they're struggling with is when they see that things are not going well, when it's 50-50, when it's a fight, we let the other team take the lead. We allow that. And so I was talking about understanding the value of grit. What is it to have grit, to have resilience, to be able to go through things like that? Okay, to be able to go through tough times and kind of manage to protect and maintain the level of confidence. Okay, it's all about going through tough times whilst managing to keep believing in whatever you believe in. So eventually it comes down to what do you believe in? Okay, and obviously I'm not sure how much this is learned, how much of a learned thing that is. Can you develop that as a skill? Can you develop grit? Can you develop resilience? Maybe to a certain extent, okay, but it has to come from inside. I cannot give it to other people. I can give knowledge, I can give ideas, but I cannot give you that internal drive that is eventually going to push you through the finish line. So when it comes to those places in games and in general, when it's very tough, you have to know what you believe in. Why are you there? What are you doing? Why? If you don't know why, then you're a bit lost. And I feel like some people, I'm not talking about my team now, just some people in general, they don't really know what they do. They don't know what they believe in. You have to develop some sort of belief in something. You have to have something about you. If you don't, then you're not gonna go very far. You're probably gonna live a life of mediocrity. That sounds very condescending coming from me, as if I'm like on the top of the mountain, but I'm just saying things as they are. Okay, I'm not saying it as if I'm above you or whatever. I'm just saying it how it is. If you don't have a strong belief in something, in yourself, or whatever else it is, you end up nowhere. Because when things are happening to you and you have nothing to hold on to, which is this belief, you're just gonna, what? You're gonna let go. You're gonna kind of accept things. We are accepting, as a team, we are accepting defeat. Yeah, they're taking over. There is no one to say no. They're not. They're not. I'm here. I'm here. No one is taking over when I'm here. Okay, to say that, you need to have something about you. You have to have, you must have maybe some sort of pride. Okay, is pride a virtue? No. Is it beneficial sometimes? Yes. Because if you have a little bit of pride, you're not gonna just take it. Well, you're doing this to me, and I'm just gonna say, yeah, no problem. Yeah, go and beat me, embarrass me here, make fun of me. No, I'm not. That's not happening. How am I gonna allow that? I don't get. There's so many people. I don't even understand. There's so many people. Something like this happens to them. They get beaten. They lose a game or whatever it is. Something doesn't go their way, and they just go, well, yeah. Whenever I cannot, as much as I want to give advice, I'm just giving you a perspective at the moment, my own, okay? Because I haven't really learned this. I've learned on this topic that I'm talking about, yeah. As much as I've learned about it, a lot of it has been in me from the beginning. So I've had that thing, whatever you want to call it, I've had it in me. Something that is really bothering me. It really bothers me when things don't go my way. So I cannot, I'm driven, I'm pushed not to let things go the other way. For some reason. Okay? Just there is something there that would not let me like sleep well at night, knowing that someone got the better of me, and I just kind of accepted it, you know. If I go there, give my best, everything, and the other person or the other team or the situation, whatever it is, the circumstances are just against me, or someone is better or something, whatever, someone is better, then okay, fine. It's still gonna bother me though. Even that is still gonna bother me. How healthy is this? I don't know. We're not talking about healthy and all that stuff. We're talking about what we're trying to break the topic down: grit, resilience, perseverance. All these words that we throw around, big words. Grit, yeah, I'm grit, yeah, I go through things. You're not gonna have the main point, the main takeaways. You're not gonna have any of these unless you have an internal belief in something, in yourself, or in whatever you believe in. Not even, I don't even know whether to call it belief, you know. Belief, when someone says, oh yeah, belief, it's more, you know, like magical. Not magical, but it's very ethereal. It's not really to me, it doesn't give me any sort of fire, if fire is the right word, but like motivation or energy. Belief, it's more of a knowledge. Like I know for a fact. You see, this is different now. Okay? It sounds different, it feels different, although, you know, we all know 19 episodes now. Whoever is watching me, if you're not watching me, I've been said they're very familiar themes, you know, repeating episode after episode. There is reoccurring themes that come up here. That's one of them. I'm not really fan of saying, oh, feel this, feel that. But when it comes to down to this, I'm not gonna accept that fire, that drive, the thing that's gonna push you. You have to use the word feel. It feels different when you say, I know for a fact, whatever happens, I don't have my quit button. Does not work. Nothing can come my way that can stop me. Not possible. How and why am I gonna stop? Can you see that? I believe what I'm saying. I completely believe what I'm saying. Because that thing inside of me, whatever it is, and what I think some people are missing, is not gonna let me go to bed if I know that something didn't go my way. Something did not go my way, and I let it happen. What? I let it happen? What? I cannot accept that. I cannot accept that. So, because I cannot accept that, I don't know, maybe some expert psychologist is gonna come and say, oh, you've got unresolved issues from the past, or all over some bullshit. Someone's gonna think they're very smart saying this, you know. Anyway, I'm gonna come back to this. Wherever it is pushing me. It is pushing me. Therefore, I have grit, I have resilience, and I can persevere through whatever happens. What is my other option? I cannot sleep. How am I going to sleep? How am I going to go through my day knowing, yeah, I quit? How am I going to continue? How am I going to move on like that? How do people even move on like that? I genuinely, I do not understand. Yeah, it's fine sometimes. Sometime in the life. No. That's why I have perseverance. I've repeated myself probably 10 times now. Hopefully it's starting to, you're getting it now. You get what I mean. You get my point, because it's difficult to explain. It's difficult to teach someone. It's a little bit easier to show. Something's bothering you because you're not willing to accept what is. Because, just because, sounds very silly. A lot of athletes, you need to have, it's borderline delusional. Okay, you can kind of get lost because you're relying on very strong emotions. Belief and emotion, they're, to a certain extent, most of the times, they're connected. They're connected. Okay, so to have this very strong belief, or I call it like knowledge, there is some emotion in it. And and when emotion is involved, you can always go over the edge. You can see some athletes, the elite athletes, they've got some venom in them. And I'm not talking about fighters, I'm talking about all elite athletes. They've got some venom in. They don't accept things. They want things to go their way. If they don't, there is no, that option does not exist. They have to go their way. That's why they're there. They're at the top. They do not accept. No, 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 no. You can accept things. Me, no, I don't. And some of them, we've observed many downfalls of famous athletes and whatever. That poison that they have, that venom, kind of spills over and infiltrates like other areas of their lives, and that's when things go bad. But if you manage to kind of keep it focused, then you're dangerous. Then you're tough to beat. You're difficult to beat because you don't take no for an answer. What is no? What do you mean no? I'll show you no. So a bit of that snap. Snap. Just as I said in the beginning, you need to have something about you. What do you believe in? Now, I need to address what do you believe in, and then I'm a follower of Christ, or whatever else it is. I'm not making fun of it, Religion is fine with me. I'm fine with religion. I live a very religious life. So if anyone wants to come at me, Press said this about religion or that about religion, mate, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Most people that go and show off their religiousness, they're not religious at all. They just pretend. They just think it's cool. Okay, so whatever. I don't want to go off topic too much, but yeah, the point was, whenever you believe in Jesus, or you believe in Buddha, you believe in spirits, from my personal experience, okay, to have that venom in you, that venom makes it sound negative. It's not really negative, but that inner drive and fire, okay, I feel like you need to, as much as it may sound selfish or self-centered, narcissistic, but you need to believe in yourself. You need to believe that you have your own will, and you need to believe that your will is made of steel. It's unbreakable. Nothing can break my will. So this is a bit of a narcissistic belief, but I feel like you need to have it. But don't worry about narcissism and all that. If you're smart enough, although that's dangerous as well. But if you develop your introspective abilities, then you'll be able to escape narcissism. It's difficult though. It's tricky. It's tricky. It's there to get you. Okay, that topic is very explosive. Okay, one wrong word. Okay, one maybe inaccurately structured sentence, and I can say something that's wrong, that makes it negative, and that pushes it over the top, and the building falls. Not over the top, it just pushes the building and the building falls. Okay, and everything that we built so far by repeating and going at it from different angles falls. Why? Because I said this very toxic thing, and now don't listen to him about all that. This leads you down a bad path of toxicity, and you're not gonna be a good person and whatever. Just the stupid counter arguments. Okay, they're dangerous to being very driven and to not being able to take no for an answer. Yeah, they are. I just said it. If you're smart as well, it's very easy to become a narcissist. But then again, if you approach it the right way, if you take the positives from it, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. What you shouldn't do is, what you should not definitely do is, well, you know what? You just stand on the side and you just watch things and you observe and you comment. Meaning, oh, now if you do this, you're a commentator, basically. You don't do anything, you just comment. Now, and you point out what's wrong with this, what's wrong with that. No, if you have this belief, if you have that drive and that venom, that's not healthy for you, that's not good for you. You need to be more balanced, and blah, 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 and live a life of meaningless mediocrity. That's what commentators want for you to be. Commentators. People that criticize too much. That like to, Conor McGregor, oh yeah, he cheated on his wife, yeah. Oh, his downfall, yeah. That's all this, the drugs, the hating. Haters. Okay. Yeah. My general advice now, obviously, I'm not really a commentator, although I do comment on things and give advice here and there. But I just say what I believe. I don't go and say, hey, look at this guy. He's this, he's that. I just come here, give some information, say what I think, and we move on. If you can listen to someone, at least try and listen to someone that gives you some sort of energy, don't listen to commentators and narrators. There's full of people like that on YouTube. People that probably this is trying to describe like journalism, to be honest, which is silly. But yeah, don't listen to people that do nothing. They do nothing and they talk about balance. Because most of them, they don't know what they're talking about. It's very easy to confuse mediocrity with balance. This is the easiest thing to do. People use balance, but what they miss is that they're talking about mediocrity. Being balanced is one thing, but mediocre people use it to hide behind it. The same way that some people use religion to hide behind a religion. Oh, I did this. Well, in the Quran, blah, 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 blah. Or in the Bible, blah, 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 blah. And they hide. They just hide. They hide. You've seen it. I'm going to give another example. Obviously, I have nothing against them. Not nothing. Maybe I have little things against. Andrew Tate. You know how he all of a sudden became religious? Why? He didn't need to do that. Oh, he all of a sudden, yeah, he became Muslim. No, I don't believe that, I just think he looked at that particular religion and he saw that some of the things kind of overlap with his opinions. And so he decided, oh, if I say I'm religious now, people are not going to be able to attack me as much because I'll have the Muslim community behind me, all the brothers and sisters. And yeah, in the Quran says this, the Quran says that. I'm just Muslim, mate. I'm not this and that. When obviously he did that whenever he got some backlash. So that's what I don't like. And he's kind of one of those guys. They talk a bit too much. What he wants to be is he again. I was talking about commentators. Am I doing something similar? Maybe a little bit, but whatever. Again, my opinion. Just my opinion. That doesn't make it better though. I'm commentating. You know what? Whatever. All I'm saying is, at least I do things. Okay. Anyone wants to come at me? Come. Okay. Let's spend the week together. Let's see, mate. How I spend the week with me. Let's see how you take it. Okay. But he's trying to show that strength. He helps men and this and that to be strong, to be disciplined, but then he's not all that. You know what I mean? He's not all that, but he's saying all those things, but he's not them. So you want to be very careful whenever you talk. You don't want to talk about things and preach things to people that you yourself do not really, you don't embody that, you don't follow that, you're not about that life. Okay, so he's trying to push these values, hard work, this, that, but he doesn't really know why. Okay, when he's talking about hard work, is he working hard now? No. He was saying hard work and this and that, but only until you get to this point here. When you get there, then what? You kind of get a pass now. Now you don't need to work hard. Oh, you've made it. Because that's exactly what he did, to be honest. That's what it looks like. He's not putting himself through discomfort every day. He's trying to present himself as he's very tough when the real tough guy is David Goggins. He's not trying to show you, look how much money I've got, look at this, look at that. He shows you he's tough. You know he's tough. But he's just as successful. He's made just as much money. But he's not sitting there talking most of the time. What he's doing is he does things most of the time. He's pushing himself constantly and then talks a little bit. Andrew Tate is on YouTube all the time, or wherever he is. He makes videos. He's like a social media personality now, influencer or whatever. First and foremost, take away social media from him, and what is he? You know what I mean? Take away social media from David Goggins. What is he? It's the same thing. So you cannot confuse I don't even know where I started. Now we're just talking. We're just talking. But you have to. Whatever you do, you can't have like a having an endpoint. I think I talked about this briefly in the previous podcast. Having like a, oh, I'm gonna stick to these principles, follow these principles, and until I achieve this goal, and then, when you say and then, that's not a good sign. Whatever you decide to do, you should make that decision without and then in the sentence. Meaning, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and this and that until I get to that point, and then what? Then you're gonna stop. Then what do you do if you're gonna stop? If that makes sense. I'm gonna work really, really hard, and then I'm gonna retire. I just don't. This is not. This is not a very strong motivator, in my personal opinion. How I use it, to be fair, and just a brief example, I use that all the time. I just blatantly lie to myself. I start, I set like a goal, some something just to kind of keep me moving. I keep moving towards something. I know for a fact by the time I get to this point, I'm gonna I'll have shifted the goal to somewhere else completely. But I keep lying to myself. Yeah, I'm just doing this. Yeah, imagine I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. And then I get there and I end up not doing it. For example, you know, just let's say, just what example? Or for my next birthday, I'm gonna get a watch. Just silly example. And then I start, that keeps me motivated. Okay, let's work, let's save money or whatever, blah blah blah. And when I get to there, I'm like, you know what? I really want that watch, but it will be smarter if I invest the money in whatever, for example. So I keep lying to myself. I keep, uh, I just keep doing it. It's not just that. This is a very simple example. I'll get a watch and then I start saving money for a watch, and then when I save the money, I'm like, that's not the smartest thing to do, and I do something else. Which, if I set as a goal in the beginning, that other thing, which is, let's say, invest in that. Oh, yeah, okay, yeah. I don't have the same drive. I'm not excited about it. I'm not excited. No one is excited saving money just to invest them in something. It's probably going to be long term. Yeah, I'm going to have to wait. It's difficult. Everyone wants that instant gratification. Or if it's not instant, very quick, very quick. 2 months from now, 3 months, 5 months from now, I need this, and that. Not 4 years from now. Oh my God, when you hear 4 years, oh, but if you cannot set long-term goals, set short-term goals, and just lie to yourself. Easy. Just lie to yourself. Be a little bit. Just lie to yourself. And I know every time I'm lying to myself. I'll get a car, and I start saving money for a car. By the time I saved, I saved enough money for a car. You know what I did? I was like, yeah, I really need a car, but it'll be smart if I invest that money. If I invest the money in a house. Let's do the house, and then I'll get a car next year. I know full well I'm not getting a car next year. I still did it though. Did it work? Yes. Did I lie to myself every day for a long time? Yes. Did I, in the bottom of my heart, did I know I was lying? Yeah. But it worked though. Intellect. Smart. I can lie to myself on purpose and believe myself without believing myself. Now you go and work out how that sentence makes sense. But it does, it does. We operate at different levels mentally, you know. That's it. But to be this colorful mentally, to be able to have that inner drive and just the ability to keep going, people call it perseverance, grit. We already talked about these words. I repeated them about 1200 times so far. Grit, perseverance, persistence, resilience. To have that, what are they about? Essentially about, I keep going, I keep going, I keep going. Sometimes willpower, you can have that, you can get fired up. Oh yeah, I'm not gonna accept that. You know, that willpower that I talked about, that inner fire, the venom, whatever you want to call it. You can have that. You can feel it very strongly for a moment, maybe for a day, maybe for a week. Then after a week, you're back into your routine, and you kind of, it goes back to where it was, somewhere deep within you. And you're like, oh shit, what do I do now? Some people, they have it for a week, then they go back to normal because they get discouraged because why they don't see immediate results. Okay, so how I deal with it, although I still have that deep inside of me, that fire, obviously you cannot realistically expect me to be like that every single morning when I let's go. No. Some of the mornings I'm like, and I still get up and I still do what I do because of discipline now. But when I was still building up that discipline, what helped me is the sheer amount of things that I know or I'm interested in. Every day, or let's say every week, there would be some different topic that I'm into that will push me through the week. Just kind of keep my attention there while I go through my routine. Okay? Because you cannot possibly use willpower every day for a prolonged period of time. You can still have it, but it cannot be on display 24/7, 7 days a week. You need to have some sort of a distraction, just something that you're interested in that pushes you, maybe just for a week. Very short term. Very short. Oh, comic books. Yeah. Oh, yeah, I want to get that comic book. In 2 weeks, I don't care about comic books again. But 2 weeks have passed. In those 2 weeks, I did what I was supposed to do. I did what otherwise would have required a lot of willpower for me if I didn't have that tiny bit of distraction. Comic books. Oh, let's get the next Wolverine one. Yeah, yes. Oh, yes, and I get it. Half the times I don't even read it. But I got the comic book. Oh, yeah. Oh, I spent £3 for a comic book. Wow. It's fine. A bit of distraction. But 1 week's passed, 2 weeks. Then after that, I'm on to something else. I'm interested in something else. I'm reading a different book. Okay. I've seen a different guy that I'm checking his profile. I'm looking at this new athlete that I like. Oh yeah, he's sick. He's this, he's that, maybe, or a new person or a new topic, whatever. Where does that come from? It comes from general knowledge. You want to have a very wide base. You want to be very knowledgeable. The more things you know, the easier it is to find these little distractions that are going to push you just for that small amount of time while your willpower kind of resets or while your battery is charging. Does that make sense? You get distracted for a couple of days, but you're still doing what you're doing because you get that small little bit of dopamine because of that very instant gratification-ish little bit that you like, that reward that you gave yourself, a little bit like a breadcrumb, tiny little bit. Comic book, oh yes, nice. Or a magazine, oh yes, nice. Or a new book that you bought for yourself. You kind of gave yourself something very little just to distract you. While you're distracted, that willpower is recharging. Then in 2 weeks' time, you're gonna wake up and you're like, yeah, there you go. Yeah, we're making progress. I'm back, baby. Yeah, oh, wow, wow. And you've got it. So you don't run out of gas. I'm really hoping I make sense, because I'm just talking at this point. I'm hopefully I'm making sense. You need to have very diverse general knowledge. Okay? Because this is gonna offer you a lot of distractions. And I don't want to go into it too much. But this is even linked to the book that I'm reading now. The book is called Range. And I think the subtitle is How Generalists Dominate in a world designed for specialists, or in a world built by specialists. Okay? So it's about the importance of doing different things, of not being too specialized too early. Okay, well, because when you get too specialized too early, what happens? You kind of deprive yourself from the different things that could have pulled your attention. And because you're so specialized in that little thing, but you've got nothing else to kind of use as a different point of perspective, you know, and you're not as creative, if that makes sense. And not just that, like, you want to try different things, see what kind of clicks with you, what is suitable for you. So that's what that book is about. What was I saying before that? Yeah, I was talking about general knowledge. You want to have very wide and diverse base. Base, is that the right word? But yeah, general knowledge. Different things is good. Is good. Makes you more creative as well. Some people say, oh, why do you waste your time doing martial arts? What does that have to do with coaching? What are you kind of pivoting or whatever? No, mate. I'm just doing martial arts. I'm not wasting my time. I'm doing something. Am I going to become a professional fighter? No. I don't really. I'm 26. No time for that. Am I going to push myself really hard to see to what level I can get to? Yes, of course. Am I learning things about myself, and am I going to apply things that I've learned there to everything else I do? Yes. That's a new point of view for me. That's a new perspective. Then I can use that new perspective and apply it to a different field. And this is what essentially pushes innovation. It's applying a new perspective to an old field, or a new perspective, a different perspective to something familiar. Seeing it, oh, yeah, I never thought about that way. Where does that come from? So yeah, everything is planned. Everything is thought through. There is no randomness here. There is nothing random. We plan things in advance. General knowledge. That's what my dad was telling me when I was young. So I was constantly going on about, that's not important, this is not important. I still stick by it. Geography, guys. You ask me anything about geography, I'm shocking at geography. I'm just bad. I don't really care about it. Never care about it. Maybe at some point, maybe when I'm 30, you know, I'll sit down, I'll get a map of the world and everything, and I'll start trying to learn it. Maybe it helps me somehow, you know, but I don't know anything about geography. I'm shit at geography. But yeah, something had to give, obviously. But then if you ask me about tigers, about cats, I can talk about cats for a quite long time. Cats, maybe one day I talk about tigers. That's gonna be a nice talk. Tigers, the apex predator, you mean? The apex predator, the tiger. Just whenever you're seeing this, whoever is seeing this, if you're 45 minutes in, just pause for a second and go and look at, type in Siberian tiger and just enjoy it for a bit. Tigers. Whoa. You see tigers. Who cares about tigers? Well, I do. I do. Definitely, I've had definitely many weeks that just thinking about tigers have pushed me through. This tiger, that tiger, comparing, or which tiger is the best, which tiger is the strongest, can the tiger beat the lion? But yeah, but why? Think about these arguments. Maybe it sounds ridiculous, but it's not. And then we come back to where we were supposed to go from the beginning. We make a full circle. We get back to that original topic, the topic of grit, resilience, persistence, perseverance. Is that gonna be the title? I don't know. I'll think of a title. All these things, what do you need for it? Just to summarize, you need to believe. You need to have some sort of belief, knowledge, inner knowledge in what you're doing, so you can push through whatever comes your way. You know, the best example for that, and I don't even know why I'm saying this now, what I'm about to say is, I talked to someone this week and he didn't know. He had no clue. And I was absolutely shocked. And what is that thing that he didn't know? He didn't know about the Spartans. He didn't know the story about the Spartans, 300. He hasn't seen the movie. How can you live your life without watching 300? Without reading about the Spartans, the greatest warriors to ever exist, the Spartans. Oh. Probably the best story to ever exist. The best story I've ever heard is the Spartans. The 300. 300. King Leonidas. He goes to battle. Goes to a certain death with no hesitation. Just because this is what Spartans do. So they're about to be attacked by Persia. Okay? They know it. So what they want to do, they want to, obviously Leonidas goes to ask, can we go to war? We have to defend ourselves. They're coming for us, okay? They're coming, they want to take over Greece. The Sparta is in the way now. And they say, no, you're not allowed to go to, you're not allowed to fight. It's the Karnia. This is like a festival, like some sort of a tradition, every certain period of time, in ancient Greece was Karnia festival, blah, 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 tribal festivals, whatever it is. So then no war can be conducted during that time. So he's not allowed to go. So what is he supposed to do? Leonidas, he's got that difficult choice. I'm not allowed to go to war. So what does he do? He takes 300 soldiers as his personal bodyguards, and he goes to face the Persians. Thousands of Persians. Why? Because he has to make a point. He has to show what Sparta is about. There is no retreat, no surrender. He cannot just stay there and someone's gone there, they threatened him, and he's just gonna sit back. He's just gonna sit back and accept, yeah, come, yeah, attack us, yeah, take over. So they go and fight to death. They all knew they were going to death. When they picked them, when they picked the 300 Spartans that were about to go, obviously Leonidas picked them. every one of them already had a son, okay? So everyone that was there already had a son who can obviously continue their bloodline. So 300 of the best went and fought and died for what they believed in. They believed in their principles. I don't even know how can I'm not, obviously some of that is in the movie. The movie is obviously a movie. But the most important thing, the people that don't get it, I can't with them. The people that are missing the point is what it represents, the principles, the strength of character, and that belief. How just I've watched that movie so many times. I can probably literally say every single line from the movie. Every single line of the movie, I know it. I'm probably gonna name my child Leonidas. They go and die, and the king goes with them and dies. You know what's not in the movie though? Leonidas was in his 60s when he went there. In the movie, you see Jared Butler, in his prime, in his 40s. In reality, he was in his 60s, and he went and fought, and he was on the on the front. He was on the front. He was out there. That's how you lead. That's a leader. That's for people like that. That's why we have statues, because of people like that. Can you imagine? Can you imagine what type of person you need to be? Some people are so far away from this that they're not even in the same galaxy in terms of character and will and just masculinity. Masculinity is not even the best word to use, because the word has been a bit Leonidas, the king. Honestly, anyone that doesn't know the story of the Spartans, I don't even know what you're doing. And that movie, how can you not like the movie? Obviously, there were other people with them. There were some thespians. Obviously some Arcadians. A lot of them left. I think that they had like a force of like a couple of thousand, the 300 Spartans plus these other guys that came there that went to help them from the other states. They fought. Some of them stayed to the end and died as well. That's not in the movie, but it's the Spartans. The movie is all about the Spartans. It's about what they represent. It's about that strength. It's about that belief. It's unbreakable. No retreat, no surrender. They said no. They said no. That's not happening. Not when I'm alive. And I'll die to prove it. I'll die for what I believe in. Don't give a fuck. I'll die right now. I'm ready. I'm 30, but I'm ready to go. Life is not worth living if I'm gonna let down if I'm gonna give up my beliefs and my principles. Imagine how strong you need to be to do that. And then that Arcadian, Daxos, in the movie, when he says, I thought Sparta is gonna contribute at least as much as us. I was wrong to believe that. Oh. And Leonidas goes, doesn't it? And he goes, you, Arcadian, what is your profession? One of the soldiers, and he goes, I'm a potter, sir. He goes, and you? Sculptor, sir. You there? Blacksmith. Leonidas turns and goes, Spartans, what is your profession? And you go, oh. And he turns and goes, you see, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you. I know the whole movie, easily. Just easy, word for word, the whole movie. Go and check the scene. You, Acadian, what is your profession? I'm a potter, sir. They're not warriors. They're not built to fight like the Spartans. Also, it's very important to read the book as well. Gates of Fire. Do I have it here? No, it's not here. Anyway, I think I brought it back home. But the Spartans. Anyway, what else? Is there anything else for me to say after I've talked about the Spartans, the greatest warriors of all time? I don't even know. How is this not interesting to people? How can you live your life not being like ultra inspired by the Spartans? How can you look at the Spartans and say anything negative about them? Oh, the Spartans. And even people, when they talk about them, they give it like a negative ring. Yeah, you know what they were like? Oh my God, they were gay or whatever. They're doing their best to find something negative about it, which is what I don't like. This is what I said earlier about the commentators. We always have to find something negative about people, never focus on the positives. Just always find something negative to say. Always find, we need to bring these guys back down to earth. Always be just negative person. What about the samurai? What negative are we going to say about the samurai? Oh, the Yakuza, the Japanese mafia, it was originally like created from samurai that went bad. What about all the samurai that will spend their whole lives in the pursuit of a certain ideal, living in accordance to a certain set of moral principles? What about them? What about there was a samurai out there that spent his whole life, that lived the perfect life, I'm convinced. That lived the perfect life of discipline and dedication. And life of service. I'm convinced that samurai lived somewhere there. That's another thing. Samurai. Oh my god. Do I need to now go and talk about samurai? If someone asks me, Spartans or samurai, that's probably the most difficult question. Pick one. Oh, samurai or Spartans? The samurai. One is portrayed a bit more aggressive, the Spartans. Yeah, we're the samurai. More calm. But both special in their own way. I can never pick. And if you don't know about samurai, you now need to go online and read about samurai. Where does the word samurai come from? You know? Well, the word samurai comes from the word saburai, which means to serve. That's why they were there, to serve. To serve. Can you imagine a life of service? This is selflessness. And they lived according to their code, the Bushido. What does Bushido mean? Bushi is Bushido. Bushi means warrior. Do means way. So the way of the warrior. Bushido. Bushido, the way of the warrior. And they lived according to their moral principles. In Japan, 300 years ago, whenever the samurai were around, a samurai could come to you and kill you, just slice you like sushi, and no one's gonna say anything to you. That's how much people trusted them, and that's how much they believed in their moral virtues. Can you imagine? Why would that be? There was probably like a proven track record of them actually living that life and being truthful and honest and standing for fighting for what's right and so on, and being very serving their masters, and just being very selfless. Let's see, Bushido. Let me read it for you. The principles. Obviously, there are different interpretations here and there, but they're like, like 7, mostly 7. Okay, so I'm gonna give you a couple of different ones. The 7 virtues of Bushido. So we've got, one sec. We've got honor, respect, integrity, courage, honesty, loyalty, and compassion. Honor, respect, integrity, courage, honesty, loyalty, and compassion. That's it. And they spent their whole lives doing their best to live in accordance with all these ideals. That's a meaningful life. Okay? You spend your whole life trying to be that, and to journey. There is not a single samurai that turned 31, for example, and he was like, I achieved those 7. I'm good now. Let's go and party. But then, yeah, at the same time, we've got so many examples like that. All great men. Well, something along the lines of this. Yet nowadays, it's all about I want to work really hard to retire and do nothing and be nothing and go back to everything that I'm doing now, which is kind of nothing good. So I'm only gonna do good, so then I can go back to no good. What? We're so far away from this now. It's disappointing. Hopefully there is a spark somewhere there. I do believe there is a spark in everyone, like a little bit. Maybe just some people, they haven't seen the right example that is gonna ignite their imagination and ignite that fire. That's why I'm giving so many different examples. Some people might say, "Oh, he's just waffling or whatever." I'm just talking about different things. Maybe one of them catches your attention, and you're like, "Oh shit, that is quite cool. Let me do a little bit of research. That sounds cool to me." When I saw the first time I saw, I was year 11, so I was probably about 17, roughly, and I saw in my history book, which I wasn't really a big fan of. I was in class, and we had like a lesson about Japan, whatever was happening in Japan. Like, just one of the lessons was about Japan, and we were on that page of the book, and they've so much information about Japan, blah 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 blah, pages, like 3 or 4 pages, and the bit that was about the samurai was that big, and it was on the side of the page, like additional information, as if that's not the most important thing to come out of Japan. The samurai, they didn't say nothing about them. How do you expect me to be interested in history and they're not talking about the samurai enough? They just kind of they glossed over, and then you wonder why no one really likes school or whatever. That it was that big, 2 sentences, and just when I saw the word, the samurai, and I literally did this. I was like, "Ooh, the samurai! Oh!" I was like, "The samurai." I said, "The samurai, yeah, they exist." Well, the samurai are a massive source of wisdom. And then that was it for me. I was onto it. The samurai. Immediately go back home that day, go online, samurai, and start reading everything about it. I started looking for samurai movies, samurai books. I don't know how many samurai books I've read so far. At least 5. Easily 5. And then, yeah, just from that one word, this is single-handedly the most useful thing that I've ever read in my whole 12 years of studying history in school as a subject. What came from that little bit. So you could say I'm yapping, I'm talking about different things, not yapping, but waffling or whatever people use nowadays. It's just kind of wasting time saying nothing. But it only takes that much to kind of ignite that inner fire, that spark, the curiosity. So that's why I do it, to be honest, most of the times. I don't just do it just to say things. You never know. That's why I cover diverse topics. You never know what's gonna be your thing. So I kind of try and use the fact that I know so many things and I've read so many things or so many different subjects, just so you can one of them maybe catches your attention and helps. But yeah, I'm done. 1 hour and 10 minutes went like that. And when you're having fun, time goes quick. I didn't even answer a single question. I just went for it today. We just blah 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 blah, just boom, we're there. Well, that's it. Oh. rib is still messed up. The dent is still there. It is what it is. I have strong internal belief and knowledge that I can handle whatever happens from now. So don't care about the rib. It will be fine. Okay, thanks for watching, listening, or whatever. And I'll be back next time with number 20. 20 weeks now. Solid. All right. Yeah. See you next week.